Well, this is not good. Uh, no, this is why one should edit the video as soon as possible and not just leave things up to the last minute like I did. I think I'm gonna have to put another delay. It's quite frustrating, especially since, I only got like less than halfway done with adding the second, set of blurs and all that before, it, started glitching. And if it starts glitching, then, there's only like two things to do. Either like try to load it and lose all the progress, or just, let the video editor process it and then edit more. And as I'm saying this, in hindsight, I probably should have just reloaded it and all that. Yeah, I probably should have just done that. Well, this sure has been a learning experience. So, well, we are waiting for that to load. How about I get a head start on the next video in this series, huh? Would you like that? Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm gonna do that. No, so this stuff like this is why I think I'm going to just stop after episode 13 here. I am going to stop uploading these to YouTube after episode 13. Because of stuff like this. I mean, it's time consuming, and sometimes it just delays, and there's other things I got to do and all that. I mean, I don't have all the time in the world to work on this, especially since, I mean, like, what's the point? Like, these videos don't get a lot of views, and at least not compared to how much triple they're worth. Like, and most only. The most amount of views this series has gotten so far is 12. Well, actually not 12. Now it's up more to like 16 or something. But honestly, it's still below 20. And, man, I don't know. I'm just really just don't like editing these. I mean, it's a shame because I have actually been enjoying the series, and also, I've has motivated me to, do a bit more research on the American Revolution and all that, and I've learned some more things, and my opinions have, changed a little bit, slightly here and there, and all that. Yeah. Also, honestly, when it comes to like learning about history, is that oftentimes, I get a new perspective on some things. I really hate how this playlist this guy has is the videos are out of order here, and that's going to be annoying here. Like seriously, why are the videos right here in this like middle part all mixed up here? I don't like that. It should not be like that, okay? And like you got 11 before you got 10. And even worse is they have 14 and 15 before you got 13. Ugh. Now this is quite annoying. But hey, enough about that. It's time to learn about what happened between, the Battle of Lexington and Concord, and the Battle of Bunker Hill. And what happened in between there, you may ask? Simple. The Second Continental Congress. But what happened before that was the Green Mountain Boys, which is what we'll be looking at today. Yeah. Hopefully, this one has more dialogue scenes than, fighting scenes, because, part of the problem with, when it comes to, like, editing the Lexington and Concord one is that uh, is my reluctance to edit out and to add blurs to more like for the actual bat and all that, because there's a lot of like the tell kind of storytelling, a lot of visual storytelling there. And honestly, like, I like it too much, and I care about my audience too much to, just edit it out or to put a blur on it and all that. I like you guys too much to do that. And I like how this series did it too much to do that. I like this too much, and it's coming to bite me in the butt. No, it's truly frustrating and all that. I just hope that I'm able to like get this done for like 5 p.m. because that's where the new delay is. First, when it came into Monday, I delayed it towards 5 p.m. Then I just realized, okay, I won't be able to get this edited by then, and also I have to go somewhere play. I have to go do a to my job, for me. So that's just gonna take up some time, and so won't be able to do that. So basically, yeah, I decided to end up delaying it to Tuesday, 3:15. But then it came a bit. Then I just, and then I have delayed it again to 5. Probably gonna have to delay it some more. I know, honestly, I'm mostly disappointed with myself because part of it is that I just, I've been sleeping too late, and I've just been distracted by other things. I've been lazy, and busy doing other things, and just, I am undisciplined. And I am doing too many different projects at the same time, and just honestly, this is just a mess. And honestly, I occasionally get comments saying, "Hey, let's get this guy to 1 million subs," but I don't deserve 1 million subs. Okay, like seriously, this is the quality of the content I'm making. I'm not good at this. I like my videos are garbage, and all that, and just they're not good. Not good at making YouTube videos. So honestly, I don't deserve 1 million subscribers. If this amount of subscribers that I deserve, it's probably about my current amount. No, that when it comes to the quality of this material here, I truly just don't know what I'm doing. I'm literally learning as I'm going along here. Hopefully, I manage to improve in the future. Hopefully, I manage to just do that. Hmm. Right. Well, then, now that my just 10 minutes mental breakdown is over, let's get on with the actual video here. And, unlike some of the previous ones where I avoided, just listening to the intro, no, I'm just gonna listen to it. And it's been a while since I've heard it. And so, yeah, I'll just do that. Wait, what the heck was that? Ew. Ew, that looks gross. I don't like that. Oh, a lotus flying by. Better get it. Catch it. Wait, hold on. The guy in the background. In the blue sweater. I mean, it's not like, clothes like that, like, didn't exist back then, but, like, I don't know, I mean, combine that with his, I mean, I don't know, something about it just looks uncannily modern. I think we got a time traveler in the background here. I think that's a time travel. Huh. Well, my suspense and disbelief has been broken.
I'm a journalist, not a workman.
You're whatever I need you to be in order to get the Gazette to the people of Philadelphia.
Yes, James. Be a proper patriot and stop complaining.
Nice.
Mayor's here! Oh, please. Is there anything addressed to Miss Sarah Phillips?
Oh, Monsieur Henri Lefebvre, I am expecting a large shipment of gold doubloons from off the coast of Virginia.
What?
A small shipment?
Yes. No.
Have some news from the continent.
Oh, yes. I wonder what Audubon will add to the dynamic here.
Here. Oh, there's no word from my father?
I'm afraid letters from Ohio are few and far between, Sarah.
It makes sense, being after. I mean, it's really, truly just the absolute wilderness there back in that time period. Like, not a lot of roads. Very hard to, get any information out of there.
This separate.
Nothing for me, neither?
Nothing for you either. However, I did receive these out-of-town newspapers.
Finally.
My doubloons?
Perhaps the next mail.
Oh, okay, so he is expecting some actual, doubloons. Huh, and yeah, I thought he was just making it up. Well, when it comes to that scene, I'm definitely gonna, just add more blows and cuts.
Look at this!
Forced from their homes? Where?
Honestly, I don't really remember much of this episode, so honestly, a lot of this I'm gonna just sing with fresh eyes and all that, because I don't really remember a lot of what's going on, except, for the Green Mountain Boys stuff that happens later. Now that I do remember a bit.
The New Hampshire Grants.
Where's that?
Up between New York and Canada.
Beautiful country. They call the hills up there the Green Mountains.
Oh.
Fine logging in the Grants.
Fine maple syrup, too.
Maple syrup?
Listen. Ejectment coming thick and faster. Women sobbing and lamenting. Children crying and men pierced to the heart with sorrow and indignation at the approaching tyranny.
Now that's newspaper writing.
It's by someone named Ethan Allen.
It sounds to me like Mr.
Oh, that's the leader of the Green Mountain Boys. Right? I mean, I believe that's the leader of the Green Mountain Boys is Ethan Allen.
Allen is hyperbolizing in an effort to inflame the emotions of potential traitors to the crown.
That is a fair possibility. And all that, I mean, after all, must always be wary of, biased news and all that. No, see, it's quite strange how history just keeps on repeating, even in the modern era, we have to worry about misinformation. Indeed, there's a lot of misinformation and all that all over the place. Everybody's, just propagandizing. Of course, with some people it's a bit more obvious, like for example, I don't mean to get political, but well, okay, you know what? No, I'm not gonna get into. I'm not gonna get into modern politics. No, no, no. If I'm gonna get into modern politics, I'm going to just make a separate video where I talk all about modern politics and all that. Yeah, you guys are just want. I feel like you guys just want me to just talk about the contents of the actual episode and all that, and not political commentary. Now, if you want political commentary, you can just go to like a random Twitch streamer. Yeah, that's right. That's where you can get all your valuable information from Twitch streamers and also VTubers and all that, and just uh, hmm. See, yeah. See, call me a mindless sheep, but sometimes I think the mainstream news is actually more trustworthy than Twitch streamers and VTubers. Although that said, I do watch my fair share of VTubers and all that. Though I don't always watch every video they upload, especially since VTubers have daily uploads. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a fan of daily uploads because it's just too much information and all that. Like I'm already subscribed to like over 100 different YouTube channels and all that. Like, I mean, it's just daily uploads, daily uploads. I don't like daily uploads. Okay. And it just seems, especially since when it comes to like daily uploads, I know the quality does not tend to be very good and all that. Guess with some YouTubers, their daily uploads are pretty good, but yeah, honestly, what's really annoying is, if it's about news, like sure I get like having daily uploads if you talk about news and all that, but yeah, I sometimes know it kind of gets a bit lost in the shuffle. Also, like they always people who make daily uploads always have the most vaguest titles, like just a super vague title that doesn't tell you anything about the content of the video except in the most like hyperbole emotional fashion and all that, and too often they just put they added a thumbnail that's pretty kind of inflammatory and all that, like makes all in an effort to just kind of just get your attention and all that. Yeah, I don't know. I think I like more intellectual or information compared to more emotional information. Because that's not to say having emotions is bad. You just want not to learn how to just control them and all that.
What did she say?
She said, something I wouldn't lower myself by repeating.
She said,
Oh my god. Let's see what she said here.
Alan.
It sounds to me like Mr. Allen is hyperbolizing in an effort to inflame the emotions.
He's not familiar with hyperbolizing. I just realized I don't think I actually know the definition of hyperbole exactly. I kind of know what it means, but don't exactly know what it means. I'm making a fool of myself. I'm using big words without actually understanding the big words. Intellectual. Yep, I'm really just showing my true colors. I'm not a true intellectual. I'm just a pseudo intellectual. Okay, hi. Hyperbole. Exaggerate. Okay, can we see? Okay, yeah. Exaggeration as a rhetorical device or figure in speech and rhetoric. It is sometimes known as auxeasis, literally growth. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, so basically my basic idea was correct, that it was exaggeration. I had a feeling that it was exaggeration. No, that, I wish I'd get a definition from Google instead of just like the AI, just summary here and all that. Like, no, I don't care about your stupid AI over you. Die! Die! Sorry. I get a bit emotional when it comes to artificial intelligence.
Something I wouldn't lower myself by repeating.
She said,
Oh, screw you.
Henri, that this man Alan is a liar.
He sounds to me like a patriot.
He sounds to me like a loudmouth.
Well, it appears that you guys won't know the truth until you actually go there and see for yourself. Like, is he lying or is he, a good patriotic soul?
As does someone else I know.
James, Sarah, Alan might be exaggerating, but he's not lying. Allowing people's land to be taken out from under them. The Redcoats aren't using muskets this time, but they're firing a broadside at us nonetheless. I've been wondering where the next hostilities with the Crown might take place. This could be our answer.
And now it's time to go all the way up to Fort Tiaroga. Right after this ad from Disney Plus advertising the fact that they got the original DuckTales series here. Okay, yeah, good for you. You got content, we all know. Wrap up in the New Hampshire grants.
You have as much chance of filing a better story than me as a man has of walking on the moon. Chance of filing a better story than me as a man has of walking on the moon.
Huh. So I guess what you're saying is that all she has to do is just wait about 200 years and she'll be able to do it. Man, it's really kind of crazy how fast technology has just improved.
Look out!
I gotta say, Sir Phillips definitely has a lot of good outfits and all that. But I do like the costume change for the characters and all that. I like the blue here on James. That's a nice look actually. A nice change of pace.
This would be an absolutely lovely place for my family to make a home.
Yes, it's quite nice. I do love the trees. And just, nice leaves, providing, shade and other. Good, one thing I like about the forest is, when the sun rises, just at a good angle that, like golden streams of sunlight, pass through the leaves and all that, just kind of dampened little sunlight, and it falls upon the long grass that grows in between the trees and all that. Like, I gotta say, it's quite beautiful and all that. It's truly quite beautiful, and a nice calming relaxation and all that.
Let me do the talking.
I do not.
Please, let me do the talking.
I do not need you to take care of me.
You know, fairness, I feel like when it comes to talking, I think C's a bit better at communication than James is. And something tells me that if he tries to help, he's just gonna end up messing things up.
Thank you.
I will talk with these.
I think you. Okay, I think Mr. Franklin should have sent, somebody, who is actually intelligent to go along with them.
Afternoon, youngsters.
Can we search him now, Tom? Can we search him?
That won't be necessary, Luke. Our friends here will be happy to show us anything interesting they might be carrying about their persons. Won't you, kids?
A ways back, we passed a guy who looked real rich. You can probably catch him if you hurry.
You're a clever pup, ain't you? Now tell old Tom what you're really doing up in these parts.
I am a journalist and demand safe passage in the name of King George III.
For Venus of that, I mean, after all, they may not be very fond of King George III and all that. I mean, okay, on second thought, never mind. It turns out they are all terrible at communicating. We got a trio of idiots here. Ugh, boy. Yeah, I mean, oh, so, you could and have sent like Moses to go with them or something, or find somebody to go along with them.
Boys trap game in the woods and don't invite me to the feast?
May I assume that you are the leader of this vile band of kidnappers and thieves?
Some of the boys might take offense at your characterization, but yes, I'm their leader. My name's Ethan Allen.
Oh, well, you lucky. You managed to get taken. Yeah, let's see here. Now I'm going to see how good. Okay, 21 minutes. I think I better issue another delay here. Yeah. Okay, when the next outbreak happens, I'm not going to skip it. Instead, I'm going to just put out a little post saying that it's going to be delayed even further.
Ethan, all I did was ask you where the finest land is to be found in the Grants.
You Tories come here and expect us to just hand over our land and property? Are you mad or stupid, or you just a thief?
I can answer that.
You call me a thief? You're the one who had me bound and gagged and dragged here against my will.
My men were doing their duty.
Be careful of your pride, sir, okay? Seriously, don't be too prideful here. Especially when you're at their mercy.
And anyway, you're free now, aren't you?
Mais por
Oh,
sûr.
no, Henri, don't steal this syrup. Oh, you stupid, silly boy.
No more will you steal our homes out from under our very feet. And, sad to say, no more can we fight your tyranny peaceably. So often of the pleas and arguments of our...
I like how James is just reading everything Ethan is saying. That's nice.
Our lawful committee's been ignored by your king.
Ethan, on our way here, we saw a man riding a gilded chariot.
Hendrick's back. Tom, you...
Oh, so he wasn't lying about seeing a wealthy man riding along. Huh.
Oh, boys, Hendrick's back.
Pendrake?
Hendrick!
You will leave my property immediately.
We cannot leave your property because we are not on your property. You.
In the name of the Governor of New York and the King of England, I will not budge, sir.
What?
Let's hope for his sake that they're a bit more, reasonable than some of the Sons of Liberty.
Anyone else in the house?
No, Ethan.
Set the horse free.
This isn't right.
That's a bit rude. Yeah, getting rid of his horse. Like, I mean, sure, he's, kind of got your land in a, underhanded way, but still, I'm okay with you, getting him off the land since he, got it in a underhanded way, but like, I don't know, I feel like getting rid of his horse is a bit of overkill.
It isn't fair.
I'm glad you're here, little redcoat. You're about to learn something about fairness. Arthur Pendrake, we the people of the New Hampshire Grants have resolved to offer a burnt sacrifice to the gods of the world. Time to burn the house.
This is barbaric. If you're intent on driving this good man out, why don't you simply let the earlier occupant move back in?
Let's ask the earlier occupant. Tom?
If I did that, they'd just throw me and my family out again. That thief would be back. Right back inside a house I built for my wife and children. Maybe this'll show him.
Alright, well, I guess if you got consent from the earlier occupant, then, go ahead and burn the house then. Huh.
We mean business. Ethan, give me the torch.
Sorry, Tom.
So am I. I built this house for freedom. Now I burn it for freedom.
Oh, quite poetic. Well, it's a good thing they let him, get over on his own way, instead of, tar and feathering him. So, yeah, for the most part, I like these Green Mountain Boys. They seem very good, reasonable people. They're quite reasonable and merciful.
People have 3 inalienable rights, James. Rights that they cannot be denied. And those are the rights to life, liberty, and property. If the government fails to protect those rights, it's the people's right to revolt and form a new government. It's never been clearer to me than right now. That's exactly what we have to do. We have got to separate from England. At Lexington and Concord, the British fired on Americans. It's time for them to get as good as they give.
We see somewhat upset about that because, from our point of view, the colonists also fired upon the king's troops and all that, and end up killing her cousin Tom.
It's time for the first American attack on the Redcoats.
Finally!
You wouldn't dare.
No more burning houses. No more Arthur Pendrakes. The Green Mountain Boys are gonna take Fort Ticonderoga in New York.
This ended up being a pretty good idea since it's definitely a good early win for the American people and all that.
If they won't give me maple syrup, I will get my own.
Do you even know what you're doing, Henri? Something tells me you don't know what you're doing. Besides, it's gonna take a while for the sap to, drip out and all that. But I wonder, do you even know if that tree's maple and all that? And those, the best time to get your maple syrup would be about late winter, early spring.
Sacre bleu!
I think you put it in too deep.
A redcoat!
I'll put one of the
Violence,
others.
Colonel Allen, is never justified. It's
So what?
violence, Colonel Allen, is never justified.
Violence is never justified. And explain the violence the redcoats have done. I mean, seriously, that's a very bold statement. Like, if violence is never justified, then everybody involved in the situation is damned. Because there's been violence from both sides. I mean, seriously, violence is.
Violence, Colonel Allen, is never just.
Violence is never justified. That's literally what you just said. I mean, that's just unbelievable right there. Like, yeah, good grief. It's a real shame because I have been beginning to really and all that. In these past few episodes, I have begun to feel quite charmed by her. I have found her to be quite charming. And then she says something stupid like this. Quite frustrating. She's a very frustrating individual.
Justified. It's the people's right to revolt. Just where did you get your outrageous excuse for political philosophy anyway?
Well, let me think. I remember now. That's right, Mr. John Locke from Pensford, England.
Oops!
John Locke. Yeah. He's a famous philosopher, a famous English philosopher. And let's see now, what century did he was he alive in? Let's see here. Yeah. John Locke, English philosopher. Yep, English philosopher and physician. Yeah. So commission for trade and plantations. Oh, that's what it is. Let's see now. When did he die? When did he live? Oh, yes. Born 1632 in Somerset, England. And he died in 1704 in Essex, England, at age 72. So, yeah. Toleration contends that religion is a matter for the individual and that the churches are voluntary associations ruling out religious coercion and uniformity. This led to the idea of separation of church and state. His two treatises on government argues for government based on the consent of the governed and the right to revolt against tyrannous government, which is lost to consent. The two treaties had a direct influence on the language that Thomas Jefferson chose in his drafting the Declaration of Independence. Now, who needs when you have me to summarize? That's right, take that. Take that you stupid, Silicon Valley, despots. Right.
Am I addressing Colonel Allen?
You are?
I am Colonel Benedict Arnold. I have been commissioned by the Massachusetts Committee of Safety to raise a regiment which I have done to attack Fort Ticonderoga. To that end, I hereby order you to turn over to me complete and utter command of the Green Mountain Boys.
For a second, sure, I thought he was a redcoat. Well, in all fairness, I guess he may become a redcoat, but not yet. Okay, no, that's a bit later on the line. At the moment, he's with us. But he has a redcoat. But then again, I mean, this is pretty early on. Like, they don't have all the issued uniforms and all that. Like, a lot of them are still using just old former British Army uniforms and all that.
Well, Colonel, with all the respect due a man of your high rank and obvious importance, I formed this battalion. These are my men, and I'll be darned if some little red peacock is gonna strut in here and start giving them orders.
This is not a request, Colonel. This is an order. If you will not obey it, I will force you to obey it. You and every single one of your so-called soldiers.
How are you gonna do that? Go back to your committee of safety? The Green Mountain Boys are serving under Ethan Allen, or the Green Mountain Boys are going home.
Colonel Allen! A redcoat riding this way on the white horse with a bright red jacket. He was a shrimp, but he... Did you spot the British soldier too, monsieur?
Don't worry, everybody's Yankee here. When I first saw this episode, I did not know who Benedict Arnold was and all that. So, I just saw that this guy is a, rather random individual, and just a random individual who showed up and all that.
Now, let me say one thing to the good people of Philadelphia. Brothers and sisters, there ain't one Green Mountain boy on God's green earth who ain't prepared to meet his maker up there in that fort.
Because, Miss Phillips, every man here, no matter how uncouth, how rough, how rude, is profoundly committed to fighting for America's freedom to the last beat of his heart.
That's quite admirable. So they may be impolite, but they got spirit and all that. And honestly, if we don't have manners, you as well have spirit.
Colonel Arnold.
I don't doubt that the Pennsylvanians need news of our attack, Miss Phillips, but I'm afraid they'll have to get it from someone less qualified than yourself. I simply cannot permit a proper young lady to accompany troops into combat.
I gotta say, that's quite gentlemanly of him. And understandable as well, after one does not want young ladies, especially one of as proper as her to end up in harm's way. May 10th, 1775.
You didn't really think you'd be the only one getting this story, did you?
I remember this little scene that happened here, quite well. I remember this very well. Yeah, and I remember, just really just liking her response.
You didn't really think you'd be the only one getting this story, did you?
We've got a determined and somewhat mischievous young lady. You stupid, silly man. Sleeping on the job, are ya?
Mercy, sir, mercy!
Take me to your commanding officer.
Now! All right.
Continental Congress, I demand that you surrender this fort. Come on out, you old rat!
A little bit unprepared, are we?
By swords.
Hey, prisoners! Gather all weapons, artillery, and ammunition.
I gotta say, now this was a very easy battle.
That's an order.
Well, go on, boys, and find the rest of these redcoats.
Sorry, but you just gotta accept the fact that these people do not answer to you. I know that you are a rather prideful man who hates having his feelings hurt, but yeah, unfortunately, getting your feelings hurt is something that you have to learn to deal with. I guess something that he won't learn to deal with.
All this without firing a shot. We're gonna whip those redcoats in no time.
Don't get cocky, son.
Yeah, just because these, redcoats are incompetent doesn't mean the entire army is incompetent. After I know, the British Empire is this big for a reason.
We've a long way to go before we win our freedom. Hold on there, Edward. Wasn't that little French weasel trying to drum up some of this stuff back in the Green Mountains?
Alright, hang on. The leaf changed. Huh, you can't fool me. I know for a fact that's not the same jar. The leaf looks completely different. Haha, you can't pour the wool over my eyes.
Dr. Franklin will put my story on the front page.
He'll put mine on the front page. Dr. Franklin is
Yes, and if I remember correctly, the episode ends with both of their story being on the front page.
many things, but he is not insane.
Paper's ready.
And we use a fork and knife. Good grief, stop eating like a barbarian.
Who got the front page?
You both did.
Wow. Wow, look how well written it is. Wow. Well, that doesn't look like, it's a bunch of scrambled gibberish at all.
You both did.
I never thanked you for not giving me away on the boat that night.
I had to let you write that story. How else could I prove that mine was superior?
Spell superior.
Gee, these flapjacks look good.
Oh, I imagine they are.
Okay, why is she the only one using a fucking knife? I mean, seriously, James, you two, why are you eating with your hands? They're covered in sugar, for goodness sake. Seriously. I mean, good grief. I mean, seriously, you don't eat pancakes with your bare hands. Okay, especially if they have syrup on them, because then your hands get all sticky and all that. Like, come on. Anyway, I guess that was quite enjoyable. Let's see, 8 minutes left. Complete. Let me guess the... That's completely blurred out there now. Okay. Let's see here. Yep. Still blocked. And there's no way it's going to... I'm going to finish fixing it by the time it's due here. Trying to give it another 2-hour delay. Yeah. No, I thought there would have been in it, and for the end of the video. I guess there wasn't. Well, anyway, I guess just I hope you enjoy the show, and have a good day, and goodbye.